So, hi Bev, this is Bev Langan. Thanks very much for joining the Life of the Lionesses interview series. So you are a 2003 tourist, so
Yes.
That's exciting. You went to New Zealand for the World Cup.
Yes. Yes,
right. Great. Okay, so can we just start, Bev, with where and when you were born and how you got into playing rugby league?
Yeah, I'm born and bred in York. And basically I got into rugby league. I was in my last year of secondary school, and there was a girl who came around to one of our PE sessions. I think she was a rugby union player, and she was just getting us to do some drills, and I was like, I really like this. I've always been really competitive. I've always been into rough and tumble sports and things like that anyway, and every type of sport I could get into. And me and my friend thought, we really like this. We were coming to leaving school, so we just kind of asked if there was any rugby teams in York, and this girl didn't know. I think she was from a college. And then somebody said that they had a ladies team down at York Acorn. So we just kind of turned 16 because we were leaving school. And I just actually managed to move into the area. So the rugby pitch was actually my front garden.
Amazing.
So we just went down with the ladies, and then that was it really. From there, I just took to it like a duck. Well, I just loved it.
Really? So what was it like playing then? Did you have to kind of learn how to play if you haven't played before?
Yeah, I mean, I've chucked a rugby ball about before, but never to play a game and a match. And we just got taught, obviously, the rules, the drills, what you do. I mean, even learning whilst we were playing. I think I laugh back now, but I think for my first 1 or 2 seasons, I didn't even know that you could score under the sticks, because I'd never seen anyone do it.
Wow.
You know, so, and even I'd always veered to the side. And I mean, things like that, which that was like our first season or whatnot. You just pick it up with experience, but with the basics, we just kind of got taught how to play, and then obviously went into the season.
Wow. So you played so that was at 16. So you played for a couple of years. So talk me through getting called up for England and how that for Great Britain and how that all happened.
Because basically I'd been playing for Yorkshire, so ever since I started, I think I went and trialled out, I think is it Redhill? There was some Yorkshire trials there, and I was very, very young, so I think it must have been a couple of months into starting playing, and I didn't get in, but I liked the atmosphere. I liked seeing the other girls and the different girls from the other team. And then I got put forward again, and then from there I got into the Yorkshire, and I also played for, there was a team that got put up against for the Great Britain team, I think, and it was England Wildcats.
Right.
So I was kind of just 16, turning 17 when I actually played a game for them.
Wow.
And then from there, it was just Yorkshire every year. Went down for the Great Britain trials, got into the kind of under 18s, 21 squad, whatever it was at the time. And then there was a couple of us that got brought up into the open age team for the Great Britain.
Oh my gosh, so how did that feel?
Very proud, very quite overwhelming. I'm very proud because York was an underdog side. It wasn't in the top 10 clubs. It was we were good, but we wasn't the best, like you had the Bradford and Wakefield and things like that. So to be selected from there was quite, I was quite proud of that as well. It felt really good. Exciting.
Can you remember having to go to the trials and stuff? What was that like?
Yeah, it was quite daunting. I was still young, and we had all these big names and big players, the likes of Lisa Mack, and she was always my favourite as I was younger. Brenda Dolbeck, we had all these players that were really quite dominant and quite, big in the game, fantastic, and these were players that we looked up to. So going there and kind of, a lot of them coached us at the time until we got into the full squad. But even having the players around from the bigger teams was a little bit daunting at first, and you just had to kind of have your wits about you and battle up to them, I suppose. But everyone was lovely, everyone was always lovely, even though we tackled hell out of each other. Everyone was really, really nice. So it was just quite daunting. You had to find your voice, so to say. But yeah, it was good. It was really good.
And how did you find out you'd made the squad?
Via letter.
Oh.
So it was probably, I'm not like now, but it was waiting for that to come. when you knew that were going to be released, and you know, have they been released yet? I ain't got a letter yet. Is post here? Has it been? You know, it was quite exciting. And then getting that letter, you're like, oh, do I open it? It's kind of like the exam days, you know, when you're like just waiting for your results to see what's happened. Have you got in? Have you not got in?
And what were you doing at this time? So had you gone to college from school, or were you working?
Yes, so I did kind of like an academic year at college doing sports science. But I had a friend who worked in a dental practice just in Acomb in York, where I live. And I went in to see her one day, and I kind of just finished my course, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And she says, oh, do you fancy a job? I went, could do some money. Yeah, right then. So I started working as a dental nurse when I was kind of like 16, 17. And I've been doing that for the last 23 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, I've kind of worked all the way through.
Right. Oh, brilliant. So if that was that, how far in advance did you get pulled into the squad before you went on tour?
So I think it was about, I remember, I think it was about 12 months before. It was quite a while before.
Yeah.
Just, I think, to give us prep time, we needed to obviously gel into the team. We needed to know the drills and kind of what went on at that level and things like that. So I'm sure it was about 12 months before, because I remember being on quite a specific non-alcoholic and like eating well diet for quite a long time. Yeah, so it's it was.
Gosh, so was that was all part of the training then, and it was quite specific to each of you?
Yeah, I think that it wasn't as strict as it is now, but like I think you just, if you're in that level, I thought it was expected of you.
Yeah.
But not necessarily so much, because it wasn't strict, like, no, you can't drink alcohol or anything like that. But I just thought, to play my best, I needed to be my best. And obviously as well, there's little old me from York against all these, you know, big players. I wanted to be as good as they was. So I just tried my best to kind of do everything I could possible to make me perform as best as I could.
So was there anyone else from York in this squad then?
No.
Wow.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, there was. Nicole Perry. She was one of the York girls. Yes, so she actually got brought up as well, kind of later in.
So talk me through then. So at the time, so you were working, playing for York, playing for county, and training for Great Britain.
Yeah, and playing for the local club.
Yeah, I mean, that's busy.
Yeah, when I look back now and think, oh my God, how the hell did I do that? Because I was literally training every night. I had a job being a dental nurse, but I also worked as a female bouncer. And I just remember just being absolutely on pitch on a Sunday, just being like, oh, I am done in. So I knew that I had to kind of cut some things out, which that was one of them that went.
Right.
But yeah, it was just, I suppose, I just fell into that good routine, and you know, just like it was just done, and it was enjoyable because I was doing something I loved. So yeah, I like the gym, I like training. As I said, the rugby pitch was my front doorstep, so I used to sometimes train with the men, you know, just to get that extra bit in and things like that. So
brilliant. Yeah. And were they supportive?
Yeah, the lads, they do make a bit like they do, but yeah, they were all good. I've known them for a lot of years, so.
Oh yeah. And what was the training like for Great Britain then? Like, did you go off for weekends and days?
Yeah, so we had training down in Leeds and things like that. So it was a days, which was sometimes difficult because I didn't actually drive. So Roland actually used to take me sometimes. So I met him at an early age and knew him very well back then. So yeah, so it was kind of like days, and we had weekends and things like that. And it was really good, tiring, but good fun with the girls. It was a lot more kind of structured, and a lot more regimed, which was really good than obviously your local training. And it was nice as well to kind of take things from that back into your local team.
Yeah.
You know, and just give ideas to coaches and things like that. And because they'd ask, oh, what did you do? Did you do this? Did you do that? and it was nice to kind of feed that back in as well for the girls.
Yeah, that's really good. So strengthening your home club as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So did you, for the 2003 World Cup, I assume you still had to fundraise, like the fundraising had gone on. So what did you have to do? What was that? What was involved in that?
Just we did things at the local club. We had kind of like people chip in, or I think we did like a barbecue kind of fundraiser thing where we just host a good day at the club to kind of get money, and funds had come to me. My dad was probably my biggest fundraiser, because he was just like, here, you can have what you want, you know, my daughter's playing for Great Britain, you know, so he did a lot of it and gave a lot of it for me as well. Bear in mind, he earned that, you know, he wasn't just, he didn't have it in his back pocket just to give at the time, so he grafted hard for that. And so just did things like that basically to cover what we needed to cover.
Yeah, okay. So going to New Zealand, so what was that like? How old were you, Bev, then when you were setting off?
Gosh, so 2003 I would have been 20, right. 19, 20. So it was just like amazing. I mean, I'd been abroad once with my parents when I was younger, and it was just kind of amazing. It was a bit surreal. I remember my dad come to wave me off on the coach, and it was just like, you know, this is really weird. And then obviously the long traveling and the stops and things that we did as well, you know, along the way. I think it was the first time I'd ever had to wear like flight stockings and things like that. And then obviously the changes that we had to do to kind of get on the plane, and then we had to have an outfit to get off the plane. It was all structured and it was really well organised. But yeah, it was just fantastic and amazing. I remember getting there and just being in awe of everything, really. It was fantastic, never mind playing the rugby.
Really? Yeah. So where did you stay? Where was your first stop, kind of thing? Where were you based?
So we were based in a place called, I'm sure it's called Takapuna in Auckland. And it was I think maybe about a 20-30 minute drive from where we was into like Auckland city centre, and that's where we kind of stayed, and we just travelled to the stadium and things like that, because obviously it was based under one stadium, and we stayed there, and we were allowed kind of like, sometimes there was like days where we could have the afternoon, or we could have a full day off, or sometimes when we'd finished training they had like a beach nearby, so we'd have a walk down to the beach and just have a mess about down there and walk back to kind of like the apartments that we were staying in as well.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
And was it so there were quite a few different nations at this World Cup, weren't there? It was ones that I think hadn't played before and things.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong, but I'm sure there was about 9. I think there's quite a few.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, like that was just another awe and amazement, as it is like, obviously there was us and training, and then when you went into the stadiums and you saw the other teams and the other players, and like how mean or how great they looked, you know, and think, oh God, I've got to run against her, you know, things like that. That was another just like jaw-dropping experience for me. I remember going to the stadium and we had our kit on, and it's kind of like the photo that you put on a couple of weeks ago, and we all had our individual photos and things like that, and that was just like the best experience ever.
Really?
Yeah. I've still got my kit. Like nobody will. I've still got it. It's all upstairs. It was just mega proud experience for me.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. So what was it like playing the matches? How, you know, what was the level like compared to what you'd been used to at home? And
so I mean, we played against, well, yeah, again, the level at first you didn't quite know until you got onto the pitch and you had your first hit and you had your first tackle. Watching the other games, you were just like, oh God, you know, they're fantastic. Look at her, she can pass that ball from half a pitch to the sideline. You know, it was just like, it was really, really good. The level was fantastic. And then to think, oh, I've got to get on that pitch and play, you know, and you just did your best. And it was nice because everyone from all the nations, whenever you played, you'd never come across any badness. There'd never been, everyone was so professional, but everyone shook you around. If you felt as though you had a bit of a bad game, somebody would pick you up, whether it be your own team player or one of the others, you know, and you had girls going like, oh my God, you know, you were like a brick wall. And, you know, and everyone was like talking, even though we were like, thought, oh, wow, look at them. They thought the same about us as well. So that was really quite nice.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and I thought the levels was obviously really professional, really high, but then kind of on and off the pitch, everyone was that base kind of like positivity. So that was really nice too.
Oh, that's really nice, isn't it? That's really nice. And what about off pitch? Like, what did you know, did everyone, was it a good team bonding experience and things? Is it nice to be with everyone there?
Yeah, I mean, we did do quite a bit as a team. There was places that we had to be in, photos and things like that we had to do as a team. But when you kind of got to your room, when you were back at your own apartments, you had certain people that you shared rooms with that you could just kind of, you could have your own time and chill out a bit if you wanted, and have free time. So like anywhere, you know, you have a couple of friends that fancy going to the beach, so they'll go to the beach. Some of them won't, some of them will stay at the apartment. You know, we'd chill out and watch films, and there'd all be a bit of fun and games. If when we were doing this, I remember watching a horror movie one night and we were knocking up doors and windows of the other apartments and things like that of our team. And you know, so yeah, it was really good. We always ate together as well, which was really nice.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was really, you know, it bonded us really well.
Yeah. Are there any highlights of the tour that stick out to you? Any matches that particularly you know, you thought you played well in, or
I think, well, as I say, it was all a big like awe, but I think the thing that did it for me was a hacker with the New Zealand ferns and things like that. They just watching them was fantastic. And they had a girl who played for him, and she was a Maori, but she had blue eyes. So you were just mesmerized, like
wow.
petrified at the same time. But she was such a lovely girl. You know, we met her quite a few times, and at the after party and things like that. She was such a lovely girl. And I think just seeing them different cultures of the different teams and the different nations to ours was just that. I think that was my highlight for kind of game days and things like that. Even though I did play, I think sometimes that got forgotten a bit because of what was going on everywhere else and watching things and stuff like that. So
oh wow, what an experience. How did you keep in touch with your family? Did you have mobile phones at that? But yeah, 2003.
yeah, I probably did. Probably would have been a brick or something.
Yeah.
But I do. Yeah, I rang my mum because she was looking after my little boy at the time.
Oh gosh, so you'd
But I
oh
had a
wow.
family, yeah. So
How was that leaving him?
so Callum would have been about 7 then, 6, but no, they wouldn't really younger than that, about 5, 6. And it was difficult, but because I've got a good family, my mum had him, you know, and took him to school and things like that. He knew I was going off on a holiday, you know, he knew that what I was doing and things like that. And he was very proud and chuffed. And I'd just ring them kind of every opportunity I could. I'd send postcards, even though I think we were there for about 4 weeks. I thought I'll probably make it home before they will, but I've sent them and I've wrote things down, and it was nice, kind of like, you know, I've got them a few things. It's like, I've done this today and I've bought you this today, or you know, just kind of
lovely.
yeah, kind of on our free time. We could do that, so it was pretty available.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, I bet you were so delighted to see him when you got home.
Yeah, it was like they were waiting for me when I got back, so it was that was quite cheer jerking, you know.
Yeah. So what was it like? What was it like coming home after that and that experience, and you know everything you'd achieved there? And
yeah, I mean, again, it was tiring. Obviously, we'd been hard at it for 4 weeks, away from home, family, friends, with a group of, I would say, not brand new people, but still people that you haven't, you know, I've already been on a picture with, I haven't shared a room with, I haven't, you know. So you know, that was all great, but very tiring. And we arrived, I think, back in Leeds, and obviously the family were waiting there for me to kind of pick me up and bring me home. So it was just kind of like, I didn't come up for air in the car telling them about everything that I'd like done and did photos and things like that. Well, I had to get the photos developed
Yeah, of course, yeah. Those were the days.
Camera that I was like, I had to get developed, so I had to wait to see the photos back then, and yeah, just fantastic.
Oh
Just
gosh.
proud, and seeing your parents and your little boy kind of stood there waiting for you.
Oh yeah. So then what happened when you got back? Did you carried on playing, presumably?
Yeah, I carried on playing
Since then,
yeah,
haven't you?
but then I kind of fell out of the kind of Great Britain / England. I wish I'd have carried on with it, but I basically carried on playing at our level, and then I fell pregnant. So I basically not come out of it, but I missed kind of like the other trials for the England, to carry it on, which I don't regret, because I had an injury, but it would have been nice looking back. But I had another boy, and then I went back to play, and York had actually folded at that point in time. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't for long, but yeah, the York ladies kind of folded. So I had a bit of a stint for Castleford Panthers.
Oh, brilliant.
And I played down there because, again, I just wanted to carry on playing rugby, and that was the nearest kind of town to us that did it. And then then I think summer rugby come about as well, not long after that. So it kind of changed from the good old winter to the summer rugby.
Yeah.
So I think I played for Hunslet. I played for Brighouse at one point.
Oh,
but just to try, again, because York weren't about, just to try and keep playing and playing.
Yeah.
And then kind of York kind of come back around. So just come back to my old town after that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. But so you did you play for England Wildcats?
Yes. So that was like before Great Britain.
Oh, before. Oh, I see. So not since. Yeah. So now you've just finished playing for York.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And you're playing Masters.
Yes. So I was playing, started playing for York again, and I had quite a bad injury.
Oh.
So I had quite a bad injury, and I was out for about 3 years. And York City Knights, it went to York City Knights. And then they joined the Super League, and I thought, oh, I need a bit of this. So I started training and then played. I've played for the City Knights for a couple of seasons now. So I've just finished with them last year. Just as I said, because the training was with working full time and things like that, and the training, which is fantastic because it's getting a professional kind of level down there, was just a little bit too much for me. And I must have been the grandma of the Super League, because I'm not a bit now. So then there's a Masters team that kind of was the first women's Masters team to be developed in York.
Brilliant.
So I'm down at Heweth now playing for the York Heweth Masters ladies.
Fantastic. How many times a week is that?
So it's just once a week at the moment, anyway, on a Monday night. It's really good because there's a lot of women there that have played before me. So it's from 30s and over.
Brilliant.
So the age group varies. There's a lot of players that I used to play with when I was growing up, so that was really good as well. And there's a lot of really good new talent down that have maybe never played rugby properly, but are interested in it and kind of just want to get involved. So that's every week we're getting more and more players down for that. So that's really, really good as well.
That's really good, really good. So what would you say, like thinking back to your international career, what would you say were the positives that you take from that and the most challenging aspects of it?
Positive is just the way that when I look back now, I mean, the positives was I was doing something that I loved, and it kept me fit, it kept me healthy, it kept me, not on the straight and narrow, but it gives you a focus. And kind of looking back now on how the game's grown, it's proud to be a part of that, and a part of the, going through and being at them clubs and doing what we love and what we've represented, and kind of building that kind of stead for the girls of today. So that's something that I'll definitely positively take out of it, and the fact that it's a great game, and it's, you develop the bestest of friends and the bestest of family. It's a very nice natured game, even though people think it's quite rough and tough. But as I say, there's friends that I've made that I've been friends with for years and very good friends from it. And you've always got a family, a rugby family surrounding you from this sport. I'd say that was a big positive for me. So yeah.
What about challenging? What about any difficult aspects of it?
Challenging, it probably has to be, it's kind of the training and the balance of life could be challenging at times. Okay, so balancing in family life, training, your extra conditioning, so going to the gym and keeping fit on the side, and also waking up on a Monday morning feeling like you've been hit by a bus. That was also quite challenging. You got used to it. It was a feeling that you actually quite like because you know you've had a really good game. But yeah, I'd say maybe more the kind of life balance with work, family, and training.
Brilliant. And what, like we just touched on it there, but like, you know, looking at women's rugby league now and the standard that it's played and things, what would you kind of say to the people that, you know, that are playing now at that level that you played at, you know, 20 years ago? Kind of what would you say to them?
So, sorry, just repeat that for me.
Well, I suppose, like, what would you, you know, thinking, you know, that you played internationally like nearly 20 years ago, and looking at how the game's moved on and what they do compared to what you do, you know, they're much better funded and things like that. And I suppose kind of, yeah, do you have any kind of tips for them or just reflections on what they're doing now, 20 years on from what you did?
I mean, they're massively more supported now. You know, everything's getting better, and someday I can't wait to see the first rugby league woman get paid for actually playing rugby league, which would be fantastic. But it's definitely the way that we're going. I would just say always keep yourself grounded and always keep it in your heart. If it's something that you love doing and you're very level-headed and you keep yourself grounded and don't go with the social media and things like that, that will make you the best player, I think, ever for yourself and your team. And just make sure that you've always got the heart to go with that as well.
Oh yeah, that's lovely. Oh,
Yeah,
Bev, thanks.
we did it out of love back in the day. Now,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot more that it's going to be paid for, so that I think they need to just keep remembering that.
Definitely, I think that's it, isn't it? Like, you know, when people who are playing now listening to these kind of reflections and things and just thinking, yeah, if it wasn't for people like you and your teammates, it wouldn't be where it is now. And that's really important to remember. I think it's come a long way, hasn't it? Like, but still further to go, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's, you know, not a lot of people, but you just need to remember that when you're putting that shirt on, you're putting that shirt on for a reason, and you've got to earn that, and you've got to play in that for yourself and your team, and not just look good in it. It's got to be done, you know.
Yeah.
You've got to earn that position.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, Bev, thanks so much. It's been so lovely talking to you. Thanks for sharing your memories and experiences.
Yeah, no worries. It's nice talking to you too. It's nice to be back involved. It's good.
Yeah, definitely.